You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJRichieSkye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Well, in the latest round of Is You Is or Is You Ain't with that lady, we finally have the truth revealed by Sidora. And it only took a good old sit down with Carlos King for Drew to finally spill the tea in a way that was somewhat comprehensible, right? I mean, I still have questions, but we're just gonna go with what we got right here. Sky Squad, we're back in the building. I mean, we're back in the building. Y'all know what we're here for. You know what you came for. So let's dive right on in. All right. And if you haven't subscribed and you come in and looky-loo in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Let's get the algo going and all that good stuff like that. So let's get into the conversation. So Drew sat down with Carlos King and they sat down in the studio to make some beats. It's so funny to me, and I gotta acknowledge this, but I have to say shout out to Carlos because the man went down into the studio where apparently Drew lives. Okay. And I say that because Drew is really, if you follow her on Instagram, you will know that Drew has been about promoting her businesses. She is doing the show on Bounce TV. That's coming back out. Shout out to her for that. Working with the people down at the Harvest Studios. Then, she's got the music thing. So shout out to her and the people over at the Music Exchange. And I think it was nice that they did this in the studio. I haven't seen the entire interview, but really just kind of giving credit to where she's at right now with her music. I mean, she really seems to be taking it seriously. So seriously, such that it feels like, well, girl, why haven't they had you on Watch What Happens Live? It's crazy to me that I got to see you on the Carlos King podcast before I even see you on Watch What Happens Live, because that's the network that you're on. Like, they haven't put you on the press rounds yet. What a go on. So shout out to Carlos King for dropping down into the studio where she was making some beats and, really getting her to open up about this Ty situation. Well, I'll use that word open up loosely because I still have questions. All right. So shout out to the Jasmine brand, House of Aaron, as well. Listen, Drew admitted that, yes, there was some flirting going on. Lots of flirting. Along with a lot of conversation. 50 hours worth, okay, according to me. And group hangouts when asked about the relationship with Ty. She does not say if there were in-person hangouts. Well, she kind of does. I mean, she just makes it seem like you say she's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. Okay, so she insisted that the bond did not cross any lines. She, quote, for me, there were just certain things that I just wasn't comfortable with. I just love my husband. I can't help if Ty felt differently. I appreciated the friendship, the distraction from what I was going through. Now, the claim that Ralph made on a recent episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta that Ty was the reason he filed for divorce, Drew denies this. She says, I didn't know it was going to get to this extent where he would say the reason why he wanted to divorce was because of Ty. That actually wasn't true. Now, I want to know why Mimi Faust came out and said the things that she said. I still don't have an answer for that. Mimi Faust, do you want to enter the chat? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mimi. That would be a mess if I just pulled up Mimi Faust and there she was to answer the questions for us. But I'm sure somebody will ask her, right? I'm just curious why she came out and made those statements. because she really is the one. When Mimi came out, she was the one that really put the stamp on something a go on with Todd and Drew. And now 2 years later, we finally getting down to the biz naive that they was just friendly. And Ty said on Basketball Wives that she was just friends with that lady. But Ming was counting the minutes, baby. Ming was counting those minutes, 3,600 minutes. So I don't know, man. This is such an interesting scenario. But at least Drew was able to say, you know, well, yeah, there was some flirting going on, a whole lot of flirting. I mean, listen, you and Ralph was on the outs. Y'all won't gonna stay together no way. So I just kind of feel like at this point in time, girl, just I wish they would just end the divorce and just cut each other loose and be done with the situation. Carlos even says in the thing, he just felt like this was, you know, he just wanted to have something to say to embarrass her. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's kind of a lot of times what it feels like Ralph is just doing. Like he just really wants to embarrass her versus like just let the woman go. Like y'all just end and just move on. Clearly Ralph has money. Clearly Drew has money. Y'all sell that house, split the profits, and keep it pushing. And there's that. What do y'all think? Am I wrong for trying to simplify this thing? Like, just get it over with already. This is like the divorce that doesn't end. She gonna be divorcing for as long as Kenya Moore was. Y'all know that was a long divorce. That was a very long and expensive. I'm sure it was expensive. I am sure that divorce was as expensive as the day is long. Who wants to be going through all of that for all this time? Like that's such a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Meanwhile, also have to shout out the Jasmine brand for this next bit of tea that we get as a clip from this coming up week's episode. Now, let me go ahead and put the disclaimer down here because somebody will say it, and I know because can't ever make people happy. Somebody's always upset about something. But this is a spoiler. So you're going to be spoiled. And if you don't like to be spoiled, just mute, watch my lips smooth, okay? And don't look at the screen. Look just at me, okay? Don't look at what's on the screen. But Real Housewives of Atlanta sneak peek, Drew Sidora clashes with Kelli Ferrell over liar allegations and revisit Shamea's lapdog, Shamea being a lapdog, right? So Drew is kind of having to take it on with both. It starts with Drew thanking Britt for inviting her to her event. Then it goes into if we need, you know, I know we've had some issues. If we need to have a Ponderosa later, let's do it, you know. And then Kelli says, yeah, but don't be lying. So the lie that the producers pull is the lie that Drew told about being related to Michael Jordan. A lot of you guys felt like she was just playing and being sarcastic. It was still an odd lie to sort of carry on for a minute, so much so that Angela, your BFF, has to make some calls and find out if it's really true or not. And again, it's kind of one of those situations where it's like it could have been a joke, but why? I mean, I don't think anybody really got it. But they are using that as the basis, or it seems, based on the show, for why Drew is a liar. Now, for me, I think that there are times when Drew has come across as unbelievable, or her story sometimes didn't seem to align with other cast members' versions of the stories, i.e. her and Kandi from last season, who we don't know to be a liar. So for us as fans of the show, we can say that oftentimes we feel like sometimes Drew has her version of the truth, and then there's other versions of the truth. That's the politically correct thing to say, I think, right? So it seems odd that these new ladies are basing that Drew is the liar from the pits of HE double hockey sticks on that one thing, or is there more? Or are you basing the fact that you think she's a liar based on things that you have heard or seen from her on the show in previous seasons? Because the way they go in about her lying, her and Shamea, especially in their confessionals, you would think that Drew had lied to them about stealing. I mean, maybe they're going by the Dennis situation, but I guess for me, there's a part that Dennis also has to play in this situation. Or could it be that they are believing Ralph because Ralph did meet with Shamea, and so maybe she feels like she believes Ralph now more than she believes Drew? I don't know, but Drew has to ping pong back and forth between the two of them. And I'm not going to lie to you, I feel like Drew is holding her own. Now, whether or not you as the audience believe her or not, I kind of enjoy seeing Drew in action in this way when she actually engages with the ladies, because I just feel like it makes her a more active participant in the story that actually involves her, right? I don't want to see her just dismissing or being passive aggressive and just kind of, I want to see Drew involved. And an involved Drew is much more fascinating to watch than one who is uninvolved. But my question, and I ask you, do you think that Drew has an uncomfortable relationship with the truth? Or do you feel like she maybe just doesn't do as good of a job articulating herself as maybe she perhaps thinks that she does? I ask you, okay? I ask you. In other Atlanta news, Kelli was on Watch What Happens Live. Some of these things, and shout out to the Bravo Shade Room for this. When asked, it was a round of waffle about the wives, those games that Andy loves to play that always usually revolve around some kind of mess and making a mess and getting the person in some mess. That's exactly what happens. Now, Kelli feels like, and I'm just going to give you the rundown because they put it on the title right here. Kelli thinks that Phaedra is a more iconic peach than Kandi. I would probably say that she answered that question in that way because she has to work with Phaedra moving forward, and she knows that. And so I feel like she would rather be on Phaedra's good side than on Phaedra's bad side. So I feel like that is the reason why she answered the question in the way that she did personally. She feels like Porsha felt salty about Shamea getting a peach. And interestingly enough, Andy says that he doesn't think so. And remember, Porsha did say, and she said that there was a text message that, she did end up referring Shamea to be a peach. So there is some truth to her at least advocating for Shamea getting a peach. She also feels like Britt's biggest lie is her entire life. And she blames Porsha for the fallout with her friend Shamea. And I think, of course, she would at this point because she's obviously really good friends with Shamea. So I think she's going to have Shamea's back regardless. So, I think that's just that and the reason for those answers that you got. But you guys let me know. What do you think? How do you feel about Kelli in general on this show? She was, I don't know, something about her felt more exciting to me in the beginning. But I kind of feel like in these past couple of episodes, something that I've seen from Kelli that I don't necessarily care for is that it seems like she kind of in the moment is very much supportive of whomever. I don't know. Maybe it is just that she's riding or dying for her BFFs at the moment. Like she's very much, when Britt is arguing with Angela, she's very much, but what about that baby though? What about that outside baby though? She's kind of like echoing that. But then when she meets with Angela, it feels like one-on-one, she has a different sort of vibe. So it kind of feels like sometimes she has a public face and then another face when she is with the person individually. But that could also just be her getting to know each of the women. So like, you could have one impression of somebody and then ride hard for them. And then maybe you just realize later on you shouldn't have ridden so hard for that person. I think to me, we're seeing a lot of that with both Shamea and Kelli. So it's interesting that they have come to be these close friends, right? So that's just an observation. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay, so we have a quite confusing story here. Uh you guys will have to follow the screen as best you can with this story. Shout out to this is not only on the Shade Room, but it's also on Reality Entertainment TV. This is where I happen to see it first. So, we will go with the visual from here because, for me, I'm kind of like, I thought y'all was divorced. Ain't y'all like divorced? Are y'all still living in the same house? Anyway, Shireen posted, I found my voice. He lost his mask. Don't bring anyone to my house while I'm out of town because you can't afford a hotel room. Now, she posts all of these things, and this is what it says. He doesn't love, he feeds on attention, admiration, and easy access. So there are all these messages of him. I love you. I love you. I love you. I want to be back together. I love you. Where you at currently? And these are recent messages, or it looks like I miss you and I love you. Really, I do. I want to be committed to you and I want my relationship back. Okay, but then there are these photos or videos, maybe of surveillance in the home where he is nooking with what maybe doesn't appear to be Shireen, or maybe that is Shireen, and then maybe that's some other woman. I never brought women to our house, and I've never put nobody in the bed, he says, allegedly. That was Friday. And then she says Saturday. Well, the woman doesn't look like she's in the bed, but in the kitchen, hands over the breasticles. All right, so a lot can change between Friday and Saturday. Anyway, also Saturday, he allegedly says, well, I'm not dealing with any women, number one. Number two, I really want my family back. I don't want to be out here dealing with all these random people. None of my actions were cool. My actions were not who I am as a person. She says, your actions is what revealed who you are as a person, stupid. Ooh, not the stupid. Eek. Meanwhile, he was doing this. I neglected you and I'm so sorry. I love you. I want us to work on our relationship and get back together. Married. I need my family back. Oh. So then, okay. Then he says she was currently married during this, even, and that isn't Apolla Nida. I guess he's saying this isn't him. And she was now trying to emasculate a man trying to emasculate a man is a real thing. Also telling only your version should be a sin. There is an adverse effect to people's actions, and one must be conscious of that, as well as the decisions they make and the barriers in which they cross. Part 1 of 10, Queen Shireen, hashtag your house, really? Super divorced. Wow. And, just a few months, about a month ago, we were led to believe that Phaedra was their biggest problem. I mean, listen, I don't know what's going on, but to me, I just thought that they were divorced already. So I don't understand why any of this matters anyway. Are they maybe still living in the same home? And if they are, who cares? You're divorced. Get over it. That's how I feel. And I know I'm probably shooting straight to simple, right? I'm shooting straight to simple. I know that. I know that there are real feelings involved, but I feel like the best way to move forward, especially if y'all both want to be doing other things and y'all don't want to stay married, because that could be a thing too. But if y'all are doing all of these things and y'all don't want to stay married, then move on, get out of each other's space and let each other do what y'all do on your own. And then Apollo, here's the thing. Yeah, just move on. Just move on. That's it. Bottom line, move on. Move along, move around, move on. Okay. All right. So that is all the tea that we got for you guys for today. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in, and just being involved. You know what I'm saying? I really, really appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so. I did want to just once again reiterate to you guys who were interested. I am in the process of selecting a free incentive trip that I got from my lifestyle membership. If you guys haven't tapped into Rich Life, here's the thing about this. You don't have to refer this to anybody. This is something that if you want to do it and you want to get, discounts up to 80% off your trips, resorts, hotels, you can get discounts on cars, you can get discounts on anything that you need in your life. You do not have to refer this to anybody unless you want to, right? So you can absolutely become a customer and just simply take these trips. And this is one of your free gifts when you join. Okay. So, lots of places on the list. I am personally thinking about a nice little getaway to France because I just feel like I need to just be someplace where I can go and I can work on my book for about a week because I really want to get book 3 out to you guys. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you want to learn about how to do this, how to travel and get paid, I also have an ebook out as well, so you can purchase that. I mean, there's lots of ways that you can do all of these things that people do not talk about, but we're breaking down all of those myths. That link is in the description in my stand store down below as well. Or you can tap into our Rich Life and learn more about that at 202-918-3386. Okay. With that being said, we also have our trip to Cape Town coming up November the 30th through the 7th of December. The link is also in the description. And of course, get the latest Wickedest Wives book 2 is out now on Amazon.com, and book 3 will be coming soon. So with that being said, y'all, I will catch you in the next video.